And Burnham, for many Labour MPs, now Burnham's well known in Westminster and he's well known in Greater Manchester, but he's not really known in the country at all. He's been around a long time, but is he a national figure known out widely in the country? I don't think he is. Many of his MPs, don't forget, many of them were elected only recently in 2024, don't know him, have never met him. So he's become a kind of blank screen onto which they're projecting their aspirations and their political dreams.
Let's talk to Sunday Times columnist Jason Cowley, who has 3 pieces in the paper today. He's the busiest man in the Sunday Times. Plenty to get into. Let's talk about early divisions in Andy Burnham's team, the state of British tennis, and Jason, shall we start with the World Cup? Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Are you tired? Have you been up all night? What's your kind of status?
I'm a big football fan, so I stayed up, of course I did, with the family, and we watched the game and very much enjoyed the game. Actually, I was a little bit surprised by Thomas Tuchel, the manager's reaction at the end of it. I thought that was peculiar at a moment of great kind of euphoria for the team. They didn't play particularly well at times, but nevertheless, Norway are a good side, and that was a very good win.
Yeah, Tuchel was quite dismissive, actually, to the point where then in a subsequent interview, Jude Bellingham, who scored both goals in England's 2-1 victory over Norway to get them into the semi-finals, Jude Bellingham sort of pushed back on it and said, well, I don't think he knows what it's like to play in these conditions. And I'm not sure if that's tension or if that's just a kind of valid back and forth between the two via interviewers.
There's always been a little tension between Tuchel and Bellingham, actually, although in recent times relations have improved. But yeah, I saw Jude's comments. I thought they were rather good, actually. He said Thomas doesn't know what it's like to play in those temperatures, in that humidity, against those players, Odegaard, Haaland, Sorloth, and so on. And I think that was a comment well made. And I think if Tuchel was critical of the performance, and he's entitled to be, he's an elite coach, I think that probably should have been done later, in the dressing room, on the training ground, not immediately after the result.
Yeah. Right, shall we go on to Andy? Speaking of division, shall we go on to Andy Burnham and all that? I was reading your piece today on Andy Burnham's kind of inner circle and these last few days before he actually becomes Prime Minister. And I guess that sort of itchy feeling among some that they don't know exactly what he's offering, and that itch is among Labour MPs. And I'm trying to judge, Jason, whether actually they're just being impatient, give it a week, guys, and then you'll find out, or whether there's merit in what they're saying. We need a bit more of the detail on your vision, Mr. Burnham.
Yeah, Calum, I think it's a bit of both, actually. Yeah. I mean, he's pulled off an extraordinary bloodless coup, Burnham, if you think about it. I mean, he'll become leader of the Labour Party on Friday. On Monday, the 20th of July, he becomes Prime Minister. There's been no leadership contest inside the party of the kind that Wes Streeting was calling for when he resigned from Keir Starmer's cabinet and was calling for a battle of ideas. Well, there's been no battle of ideas. It will be a coronation. He hasn't got a manifesto. He'll have to honour the manifesto on which Labour were elected in 2024. He hasn't been tested in a leadership contest. His personality hasn't been tested. His ideas, his policies. So there is inevitably confusion, but also a sense of anticipation. And Burnham, for many Labour MPs, now Burnham's well known in Westminster and he's well known in Greater Manchester, but he's not really known in the country at all. He's been around a long time, but is he a national figure known out widely in the country? I don't think he is. Many of his MPs, don't forget, many of them were elected only recently in 2024, don't know him, have never met him. So he's become a kind of blank screen onto which they're projecting their aspirations and their political dreams. And they've turned to him in desperation because they believe there was no chance of any recovery under the leadership of Keir Starmer. And Burnham is the most likely candidate, they think, who can beat Nigel Farage and hold back the radical right, as they call it.
Yeah. It's interesting what you say in your piece as well about this idea that Team Burnham want to sort of project this authority. You mentioned the bloodless coup, this transition of power that's in orderly sort of fashion. But actually, that unease about this kind of lack of manifesto. And I suppose, what's a man to do? Is he supposed to write Burnhamism at the top of a bit of paper and do 20 bullet points and email it to all Labour MPs? I get, what is it that they're looking for?
I guess they're looking for a direction of travel. They're looking for a programme, a theory of government. But also, some of the people I spoke to thought they were very close to Andy Burnham. They thought they were sort of intellectual outriders for the project. They thought they were inside the team. And what they're discovering is actually they're marginal to the project or already on the outside. So there's a lot of tension between those who thought they were early Burnhamites and those who are now very close to Andy Burnham since the appointment of James Purnell as Chief of Staff. So there's already a talk of kind of left Burnhamism and right Burnhamism. And there's a kind of battle already for the soul of Andy Burnham. Understandably, he and his very, 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 very close supporters and allies are keeping it extremely tight. Because as you say, if they were to email a 12-point plan to MPs, that 12-point plan would immediately be leaked to people like me.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why we love speaking to you, incidentally. So with all of that in mind, and that sort of that tension, that worry about what he brings,
yes,
and Burnham's determination that he can unite this factional Labour Party,
yes,
does that compute? Does that make sense? Can he bring these agitated MPs together a week on Monday when he becomes Prime Minister?
He believes he can, because Andy Burnham, as a very young politician at Westminster, was associated with the Blairite faction. He's now associated more recently with the soft left. But what he is an extremely nimble, pragmatic politician. What he has a gift for is building relationships inside the Labour Party and the Labour movement, something Keir Starmer was unable to do. And Burnham understands the Parliamentary Labour Party in a way that Keir Starmer never did. So he thinks one strong point is he can build relationships. He thinks he will have a policy programme, a radical policy programme, around which everyone can unite. And the other thing he believes he has is a great gift for communication. You know, he presents as a political everyman, the people's Andy. He genuinely likes politics. He genuinely likes talking to people. He genuinely likes going out into the country and making the case for his ideas. And I think he will be a more relaxed, a more commanding, and as a consequence has more authority in the party than poor old Keir Starmer has in recent times.
Yes. Jason, it's good to speak to you. Enjoy this week and we'll catch up again soon. Thank you very much.
We'll catch up soon. Thanks.
Have a good one. That's Jason Cowley, columnist at the Sunday Times.